I'm Jeff Pospisil, the 10-Minute Treasurer, with practical advice for improving your church's financial future. In this video, I'm going to be looking at the student loans of our pastors and whether they can get them forgiven through a federal program. It's called the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. So the gist of this program is that if you will serve the public for 10 years, and that means either employed with the government or employed with a nonprofit, that after 10 years of you serving and also faithfully making your student loan payments, whatever balance you have in your student loans, that will be forgiven. So that sounds like an awesome deal, right? So this program, it started in 2007, and initially, religious nonprofits didn't count as public service. So, but this changed July 1, 2021. Now, religious nonprofits, including churches, that your employment at a church does count for public service, and you may be eligible to have the balance of your student loans forgiven, assuming you meet specific criteria. One of the hard things, though, is this application process is a bear, from what I understand. Initially, when the first people became eligible in 2017 or 2018, I think 99% of people got rejected, and now it's up to like 94% are rejected, is what the current statistics are. So it is a good deal, but it's not easy to meet that criteria, and even just to go through the paperwork to make sure you got it correct.
So I found this flowchart online, and I think it's a good tool to decide whether or not it's worth you trying to apply. So first question is, are you working full-time for an eligible employer? So full-time means 30 plus hours per week, and again, eligible employer is government or a nonprofit. And if that's yes, then are your student loans federal student loans? So that just means they're not private student loans. These are ones you got through the FAFSA. Um, are they direct loans? So these are those subsidized, unsubsidized direct loans or staffing loans. So if they are, go ahead and go for it. If not, then you can consolidate them, but then your public service, that 10-year period starts at the day you consolidate. But if yes, then the question is, are you on one of those income-based repayment plans? You can switch to that if you want. If you already are, then it's time to start filling out your application. And you really should fill out this application basically annually, not just when you reach the full 10 years. It'll get you in the system and hopefully make the process easier to be forgiven. So here are the big things to keep in mind. You have to have made 120 monthly payments. So you have to have had 120 months where you paid at least the minimum payment on your student loan. Um, this isn't a streak, so I mean, let's just say you're about halfway through and for some reason you miss a payment. That's not like you have to start all over again. It might take you 122 or 125 months to get in 120 months where you made the full payment. And also, you can't hurry things up. So you can't just say, well, I'm going to make double payments. That doesn't hurry things up. You just have to have that number of months where you made at least the full payment.
The second thing is this only applies to the direct loans. So these are the federal loans, the subsidized or unsubsidized ones. They don't apply to any private loans. So like when I went to school at Jamestown College, the college also gave me a loan. So it didn't apply to that. It only applies to those federal loans. And the third one is that you're going to have to verify that you've been employed full time for either a government or a nonprofit. And you're going to actually go beyond that 10 years because you want to maintain that full time employment with the nonprofit up until you receive the forgiveness. So you could throw things off if you decide, well, I've met my 10 years and now I'm going to go do something else. You want to maintain it up until you receive that forgiveness. A couple of issues that churches might face. Some of our pastors serve multiple churches. So are you going to be able to, is that going to add a wrinkle to the verification system? Are they not going to understand that? Another one too is a lot of our churches, they're not real great about tax reporting. So sometimes they're not using legitimate employee identification numbers. Maybe they're not reporting taxes correctly. So there might be some issues around there. So if you know your church isn't using a legitimate tax ID, meaning that you probably can't file your taxes online, I would start working with the CPA to get that fixed. The fourth one is you have to actually be enrolled in an income-based repayment plan. So you can't be just doing the standard repayment plan. You have to be one that is adjust your payments based on your income. And I think there's 4 or 5 different flavors of that, but payments under a standard repayment plan aren't going to count. I do want to leave you with this word of warning is that I would not put too much hope in this plan. This is a plan that is notorious for its red tape. When people first started meeting those requirements, it was 2017, and I believe it was 1% of those that applied were approved. And then the most recent statistics I saw, they've improved it by quite a bit. It's up to 6%. So 6% that apply are approved. So this should not be your plan A. This is something that if it happens, awesome. But my plan A is I'm going to work hard and I'm going to watch my budget and I'm going to try to get out of debt on my own. And if this happens, great. If it doesn't happen, I'm with the other 94%. So that's my word of warning is don't put too much hope in this, but it is worth taking a shot at if you're meeting the requirements. So I hope this has helped you. If it was, I encourage you to like, subscribe, share. If it wasn't a help to you and you don't like it, unsubscribe. That's also good too. God bless you guys.